Good morning, folks. Thanks for joining us on our Votacall One webinar series. We got a special customer experience edition where we're going to be interviewing our support manager, Erik Davis. We're going to give folks a few more minutes to join, so we'll go over some housekeeping items and do some introductions. In the bottom right corner of your screen, you have a questions tab. If you have any questions as we go along or comments, feel free to fire them away. Only we can see those. Right next to the polls, right next to the questions tab is a polls tab. We encourage everybody to hop over to the polls and let us know what you want to learn more about. And we'll be back next month with another webinar. If you don't see a links tab, click the apps button, and then you'll see an option for links. We have links to some of our resources in there. We have a new link to our Votacall values. We encourage everybody to hop over there and take a look at those. We'll be discussing those shortly. We have a link to the My Votacall portal. If you join us regularly, you know we spend some time in there. And will we today? We'll find out. We got a link to our Votacall One training library, which is fantastic. A link to contact support. A link to our previous webinars. A link to our customer love page, where we're always looking to expand on there. So if you ever had a great experience with Votacall, we want to hear about it. So send an email to support@votacall.com and let us know. And lastly, we have a link to our LinkedIn page. Click on that and smash that follow button for the latest and some fun stuff with Votacall. So without further ado, I'm Kyle. I'm a project manager of Votacall. I onboard brand new customers. I see folks I've worked with here before and some new faces as well. So it's always a pleasure to have you with us. And with us, as always, is Mr. Dan, the phone man.
How you doing, everybody? Dan, the phone man here, director of sales engineering, former director of our solutions group. I don't know, former sales manager, former salesperson. I probably have worn a lot of different hats here. But thank you guys all for coming. And again, I see a lot of familiar faces here as well, too. As Kyle said, don't forget, pop questions in there. We're the only people who can see them. Or just even comments, just because it says questions. If you have something you want to say, feel free to go ahead and do that. We appreciate the thumbs up. And, so what are we talking about today? Well, we reviewed last month's poll. And as we were looking through it, we've covered a lot of different topics. And as Kyle told you, you can head on over to the link in the links tab and head over to the previous webinars, and you'll see all about working from home and our music on hold and just different features and functionality of the system. But what we realize is we've never really talked about what we consider, especially those of us on the sales side of things, or in my role, sales engineering side of things, our number one selling support, our number one selling item, our number one selling feature, which is our support team. And so with that, as you guys all know, or maybe you don't know, and if you didn't know, I'm going to tell you right now, 24/7, 365 stateside support. It is always available to you. It is definitely a differentiator in our industry, as there's really, I don't know of anyone else who can claim that, none of the big box stores especially. But without further ado, for all of you who join us here each month, you may have noticed the new guy in the room down there. He's in the middle on my screen. I don't know where he is on yours, but Kyle and I would like to welcome Erik Davis to the webinar series. So Erik, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, everybody. Like they said, I'm Erik. I'm the support manager here at Votacall. I've been in telecom for over 15 years in various roles, from sales to operations to support. I've been at Votacall coming up on 10 years now. I love it here. As support manager, of course, I manage the support team. It's kind of in the name there. But more than that, I also focus on kind of the overall customer experience. And because CX is kind of what we're known for here at Votacall, I take that really seriously and try to, make sure we're living up to the standard that our customers have come to expect, and make sure that support experience gets better over time.
And Erik, welcome. And thank you for being here. Support is a funny word. A lot of people think of support as break fix. Something's broken, I need support, right? We consider our support team to be a lot more than that as a customer service organization, first and foremost. So what define support to you? What makes us what is customer experience and what is support to you?
Yeah, so I don't think of support as just like fixing a problem. Like there's a problem, you got to fix it. That's support. I think of it more as like kind of an all-encompassing sort of thing. So, the support team is the primary point of contact for all of our customers. So we're going to help you whether it's, just a question or whether it's a problem or you want to make a change. Really, it's, no, not to quote Paw Patrol for all you people with young kids, but, no problem's too big, no questions too small. We'll, we're here for you, whether it's, you just want a little bit of training on how something works, or you need, to make some tweaks to your system, or even if you need recommendations on, how you can make the phone system work better for you. We're here to, help you with all that, all those kind of requests.
We got a couple questions that came in. Not really questions, but Chris says a full beard is a job requirement to work at Votacall.
And that is correct.
Great. Yeah.
And the amount of gray will tell you how long someone has worked here.
That's hilarious. Mine's starting to come in right there a little bit.
Eric's
the other question. Sorry. The other question, which also isn't a question, it's a good one. So Judy says, Aramis is the best. So if you ever work with
I can't disagree. It's he's a pretty good guy. I get a lot of feedback from him. At first, I thought he was paying people off to say nice things about him, but I think it's just his personality. He really makes people happy.
Yeah, Eric, you were talking about the different things that people reach into support for, and it just reminded me of a funny story that you had told recently as we were preparing for this, but about someone in their garden. Do you want to just share that with everybody?
Oh yeah. We have a customer up in New York, and she likes to cut out a little early on Fridays, but sometimes when she's in a hurry, she forgets to kind of adjust her call flow on her incoming calls. So she'll call me up from from her garden. She's got dirt and daisies in her hands, and she's got me on speed dial, I guess. So she'll call me up and say, "Hey, I forgot to forward my phones for the weekend. I really need to help you. Need you to help me out." And so I take care of her, a couple of clicks, we got her all set. But half the time I think she just wants somebody to chat with, so she does it on purpose. But we're happy to sit there and talk with you if that's what you're looking for. It's another service we provided. No additional charge there.
Oh, it's funny. I know exactly what you're talking about because she's got me on speed dial too, and I've talked about the gardens many times as well. Which I think it's like, the experience and stories like that separates us. We're not one of the big box stores. We're a 24/7 stateside boutique support organization, and support's included for everybody. And as somebody mentioned, Aramis just a few moments ago, if you ever work with Aramis, he's got a glowing personality, and our whole support team's got a great personality as well. Which brings me to my next question. What do you look for when hiring somebody to deliver that customer experience on the support team?
Yeah, so there's a lot of factors that we look for, but mainly, we're looking to hire a person, not a piece of paper. And so, the technical skills, that's kind of a given. Of course, we need people that have the technical skills. A lot of times the specific, phone system knowledge, we're going to teach them during the onboarding process. But really, when we're interviewing people, it's that, those soft skills, being a good communicator, being empathetic, being able to, put yourself in someone else's shoes and kind of really dig into, what they're actually asking for and what we can do to help them. Those are the kind of things we're looking for, when we're hiring somebody. Fortunately, we don't have to do it all that often because, the people we hire tend to stay, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for somebody who can, be here for the long haul and really become part of, the family, part of the team, not just for, Team Votacall, but also part of our customers team. Because that's really what we are. We're here to help the customers. So we want someone that has that kind of, customer service mindset and attitude.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a question that come in, which is actually a fantastic question. What is the best way to minimize repeat spam calls? Any insight on that one?
Yeah, so we do have some features in the system that can block spam calls, identify spam calls with various options for, say sending them directly to voicemail or doing call screening, that kind of stuff. So you can definitely reach out to support, and we can look at, your specific account and, make some recommendations for you on how best to handle that, whether it's, always coming from the same number, or if it's coming from a variety of numbers.
I mean, he answered it like a true. That was true break fix support there, Thomas. We'll reach out to you after this is done. You don't need to open up another ticket. But Erik, this is Erik's first time here, so he doesn't know that part of the routine.
Sorry.
Well, we're not going to make you. You already asked the question. We got you covered. We'll reach out just to try to identify what kind of spam it is. We have some stuff at the platform level that's there, and then there's some things that could be done individually too. So. Okay. Chris, we had a question from Chris. Erik, how long has the longest employed support employee been with the company?
Almost all of them.
Let's see. I would say the longest actually on the support team right now, I believe, is 22 years. I think that's Phil. He's been there almost since the beginning. There's other people that have been in support in the past, but that have been here longer. But current support employees, I think he's got the cake with 22 years.
Well, and Phil just got some love. Let's go ahead and put some emojis up there for Phil. Let's party. All right. Woohoo. I might have to pull out the whistle again if we keep getting these. So thank you guys. Keep them coming. Keep the questions, comments coming. We do love it. Erik, as you were going through your hiring, you used a word there that I think is important to how we hire just across the company and in general. And that's the word empathy. I used to run our solutions team, as I mentioned, and Kyle here, who's on the solutions team, we actually took him away, poached, I think is the right word, but either way, just offered him a better opportunity, I think is the best way to say it. But from another telco company, after meeting him when we were out with a partner of ours at a brewery, but that's another conversation. We can, but anytime you guys want to have a beer with us, just let us know. And we hired him based on those same characteristics. I think it was the empathy and just that you could tell that he was into making sure customers are happy, people are happy. Kyle likes happy people. So he's fantastic on the team. But you're welcome. I mean, why don't you, I think it's important, you're sort of the bridge, right, so I'm the bridge between sales and solutions and the pre-sales portion of it. And then from there, we start to talk about, there's the bridge between your project manager and handing off to our support team. So Kyle, why don't you just briefly walk us through that?
Absolutely. So the customer experience with the project manager starts, as Dan said, once it gets closed from sales, you get assigned a project manager, and then your project manager will take you through what we call our cloud hops. So, for example, we'll do a little research on your business, your company. We'll have the kickoff call where we will gather information. We'll start programming your phone system. We'll schedule the install, port your phone numbers, go live, do some trainings. We send out little surveys saying, "Hey, how do we do?" And then once that survey comes back, we like to schedule a quick 5 to 10 minute support introduction call with your project manager and the support lead. Erik, want to let us know what that support introduction call looks like?
Yeah, so all of our current customers should know what those look like, but in case you weren't the one running the project, it's basically a pretty quick call, and really the main point of it is that I don't want a customer ever to feel like, they've got a question, they've got a problem, and they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know who to talk to. Who should I, who's going to help me figure this out? And so that's the point of the handoff call. We're transitioning kind of that primary point of contact from, it goes from sales to your project manager, and now you're sitting with support, for your time at Votacall. We're going to be your primary point of contact. And so you need to know how to contact us. So we go over the 3 ways to get in touch with support: phone number, the email, the website. We go over all the different things we can help you with, much like I was saying before, about us being able to, help you with questions or training or problems, all of the above. We go over our Votacall values, something we'll probably talk about more here. And there's a link on the links link that, lists out our Votacall values, because it kind of gives you an idea of the mindset that we're in over here in support at Votacall, how we're thinking about our customers and supporting our customers. And I think it's important for people to know about those. So then if they ever, are interacting with someone at Votacall and we're not living up to those values, that's something we want to know about. And because that's something we hold our people to. Um, we go over the fact that support is, 24/7, 365. So you don't have to worry about, what time it is or what day it is when you want to reach out to us. And then finally, we go over the, customer satisfaction survey that gets sent out at the end of every ticket. That an email goes out once the ticket's been resolved. We get the positive disconnect, that everybody's happy with it. We close the ticket, survey goes out. And we like to keep it real simple. One question: how do we do? Happy cloud, sad cloud, and we want people to, expect that so they can, aren't surprised when they get it.
Well, it's funny enough that you mentioned the support survey. Some people might think we actually rehearsed this, but I think it's pretty easy for us as a company to say, "Hey, support's our number one selling feature." But in order to do that, you have to have a way to measure it. So, I remember when Andy was working through this whole thing and metrics and just understanding, how are we doing, indicators and the like. And it was, okay, nobody likes a survey though. And you definitely don't want to hit every person that you talk to every time you talk to them with a survey. But during that process, we invented, our Happy Cloud here. So why don't you talk a little bit about this image, what it means to you and what it means to the company, and go ahead, just take it away, Erik.
Yeah. So for anybody that doesn't know, this is our, Votacall mascot. It actually does have a name, Sandy, and there's the evil twin, the sad cloud that we don't like to mention. But that is part of, who we are at Votacall. It's part of the customer satisfaction survey that goes out. Like I was saying, we're looking for that feedback. And I feel like our survey says a lot about us as far as, us focusing on the customer experience. It would be better for us to have, 100 questions and all this granular detail, right? Because then, we could learn a lot. But that's a terrible customer experience. Nobody wants to take a, hour-long survey. So we designed the real simple survey, the one question. And it's really one of the important metrics that we look at. There's a lot of different metrics that, us as a support organization and, every other support organization out there can measure, time to close and time to response and, ticket volume and all this kind of stuff. But really, it's actually one of our Votacall values is the customer experience is the only metric that matters. And so really the way that we can gauge that customer experience is from, straight from the customer on the Happy Cloud, Sad Cloud survey. And so we love all the Happy Cloud responses, having that nice pat on the back makes us feel good. But really it's actually the Sad Cloud responses that we get the most benefit out of, because the last thing I want is, an unhappy customer just sitting out there being unhappy. So if there was anything that, was a problem, and they hit that sad cloud, we actually review all those sad clouds internally, and we'll reach out to people to find out, what could we do better? Is there still an issue that we, didn't resolve? And go ahead and get that resolved for you. And it's a way to coach the team. Maybe the team member needs a little bit more training on whatever it was, that prompted the sad cloud, and then we can get better, for the next time. And that's actually another one of our Votacall values is that we, own our mistakes and learn from them. So, if you don't know you're making the mistakes, then you can't fix them. So that's kind of where we're at with the survey.
Absolutely. I just wanted to throw out a comment. We got a couple comments that came in here, just so our support team gets a shout out. Somebody mentioned Scott Roberts. Sounds like he should be on the radio or psychiatrist. He's got that Southern accent, which is a very soothing accent. And then,
Oh, Scott,
there's the whistle.
I had to pull it out. I couldn't help myself.
I don't believe it. This one definitely worth the whistle. great comment just came in from a longtime customer who mentioned they've interacted with Votacall for over 12 years, and Votacall is the easiest company to reach for specific support, and all of our staff are knowledgeable, professional, and easy to work with. It doesn't get any better than that. Thank you so much, Tom.
Yep. Thank you. That's great to hear. We really appreciate all the feedback for sure.
All right. I think we've talked a little bit about the values. Don't forget there is a link in there to go to the Votacall values, and it's on our About page. The interesting thing about this series here, the webinar series, is the things that we are starting to add to our website, and like we never had a tab before for webinars, right? But as we do a webinar, we realize hey, we need some more information on the website. So we create a landing page, or we create another page on the website, or we realize, hey, you know what? We don't have a video to train on that in our training library. So this webinar series, just like the SAG Cloud survey, is actually teaching us something as we go through this, right? The Happy Cloud, SAG Cloud survey. And what we're realizing is just how to be better as an organization and continue to grow. What I wanted to do is focus now on just a few more slides here with regards to, we'll just throw up a couple Votacall values that we have turned into pictures. We're a very visual organization. So this is the first one. Why don't you just talk about this one and what it means?
Yeah. So like the picture there. Yep. There goes Kyle. He's got his tennis racket too.
All right. Kyle, I'll give you some cheer there. Hold on, whistle.
A+ for bringing the props, Kyle. Nice.
Yeah,
props. My old wooden racket to fly swatter.
Yeah. Props for bringing the props. I see what you did there. But yeah, so the image is one of our Votacall values. We don't play support tennis, and so that goes back to kind of talking about metrics, right? Sometimes if you measure certain metrics, you can get focused on the metric instead of the result. And so, what I always tell our support guys is, we don't want to just volley out a response on a ticket that's not meaningful. We're looking to get to that, quick and full resolution is actually what matters, because, having that sense of urgency is what the customer's looking for. So we need to make sure we're having that same sense of urgency when working on a ticket. And I feel like one of the ways we do that is by, having, our internal escalation process. So we don't, a lot of companies will escalate tickets, from queue to queue. And so each support queue will have its own, SLAs that you need to deal with. And, we don't really do that here at Votacall. We're escalating from person to person. And so we have our first tier people that are, triaging and helping and answering the phones and, trying to resolve the issue. And if they can't, for whatever reason, if it's more complex or they don't have the knowledge they need, they're not just going to bump it up. They're not just going to volley out a reply and bump it up to the next queue. They're going to, talk to people on the team. We have multiple daily meetings with the whole team where people can, discuss hard issues. We've got, full group chats where everybody's throwing things back and forth all day. And, if they need to escalate a ticket, it'll go right up to another person at a higher tier. So it doesn't just sit there, lingering. We've also got, direct access between the support team and the engineering team. So we're not having to deal with delays, when having to discuss, higher level issues. So that's kind of what support tennis means to me. We're not looking for volleys back and forth. We're looking for touchdown passes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great question just came in. Erik, how many tiers of support engineers do you have?
Yeah, so that kind of goes to what I was saying of not trying to separate it too much. We kind of separate the support agents a little bit more based on, knowledge areas. Technically speaking, we have 3 and then the platform team. But we're not quite as rigid as that. When it comes to 3 plus 1 is 4.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Math, it's
all right.
But yeah, it's more of a knowledge-based, routing that we like to do on the support side.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to the next slide, and I thank you for that explanation. This one here is sort of my favorite. I think it's probably my favorite because in my role, it's something that I talk about a lot. A large chunk of our business comes through partners, IT partners, typically, who have gone out into the universe and, either decided that, it's got an IT port in the bottom of it, so I can probably take care of it, or have gone out to some of these other big box stores out there. We always pick on the big box stores around here, and rightfully so. They deserve it. They probably don't have anybody coming to a webinar who's been with them for 12 years. So, and so we really do value that. But these folks make recommendations. Hey, let's go to Votacall, and it's because of folks like Kyle, and it's because of our support team. So without further ado, you want to talk about this one here, which is just our support team and just no finger pointing.
Yeah. So that's a really big one that I try to instill in the team. And we kind of really embody with how we, work our cases is, no finger pointing. In today's world, the computer and the telephone, it's kind of a converged network for most companies. So there's not that separation that there used to be where, all the computers were over here and, all the phones were over here and they don't interact at all. So, with all the advanced features and everything, a lot of times there's some intermingling with the computers and the phones, and that can naturally lead to some finger pointing between, the phone people and the computer people, right? Because, one person doesn't have control over everything. And so there could be that tendency to point to the other guy. And so we really try not to do that. If we can't fix it on our own, what we'll do is we'll, work in a partnership relationship with whoever is on, the other side of the network, whether that be an IT department, internal IT, an IT vendor for a customer, or even, one of our IT partners that we work with. Because we have a lot of, IT partners that we have multiple mutual customers with. And we really want to work together with these people, not try to, point the finger and say, hey, you deal with this because it's not my problem. And so, I have my guys, on calls with, AV providers, trying to integrate, big conference room systems with our phone system. We'll get my guys on, with the internet providers, because if there's a problem with the internet, the phones might be affected. And we really try to, see it all the way through from start to finish. We never want to just say, oh, the problem's over there. You deal with it, because then, we never know what happens. So we want to see it through from start to finish, and then, work with whoever at the customer that we need to kind of get it resolved.
Absolutely. And you mentioned, working with IT departments. My favorite Votacall value is silence kills and communication builds. So, during the onboarding process, we're communicating with your IT team, and, some customers may not have an IT team. So, we're sending techs on site. We're just not like shipping phones out and expecting you to plug them in. We are there every step of the way, and we're communicating thoroughly to make sure we ensure a smooth installation and cutover.
Yeah, definitely. That's, something we're definitely doing, working with our on-site techs, to make sure everything gets set up right, the first time. And, we were talking about IT vendors, but just because if you're a small customer and you don't have a dedicated IT, it might have been, somebody's cousin Joe that helped you set up your network in the office. That's not a problem either. We've got experts on our staff that can help walk you through, whatever we might run into when we're, getting those phones set up for you.
Okay. There's a lot of talk about the Votacall values, so I thought I'd just pull them up quickly. And we did tell you that we added the Votacall values to the website in a link. So if you clicked on that link, you'd get here, and you could kind of read what they are. And the whole thing about them is that they all connect, like from one to the other, but the top one, I think, is the most important. You've heard that already. The customer experience is the only metric. There's plenty on here, and they all kind of tie through. And then we get a little fresh down at the bottom. And I apologize for that. But number 11 is great experience, great customer experience keeps the asses in the seats. And while we do apologize for the language. I'm not sure that we were going to show this slide in its whole, but having somebody jump in here and say that they've been with us for 12 years, and Thomas, we appreciate that. But it turns out that this number 11 is actually true, right? It is about customer experience. Because, if everything worked fine because Votacall did a great job and installed it right the first time and you never had to talk to support, you may never know that there's a difference between us and some of the other folks out there. And there is. Now, without further ado, I'm gonna jump out of here. And again, because, we joke about every single week, we go to the same place. It's kind of the running joke here is that we eventually get to the portal. Most of our webinars have been based on the portal, and that's the My Votacall portal. So I know some of you may have thought that we weren't going to do that today, but you were wrong. Or we are going to get in there, and we're pretty excited to show you why. So Kyle, why don't you share your screen and do your My Votacall thing?
I clicked the share and everything froze right now.
All right. Well, then you know what? Hang on a minute. I'll take care of it. Hang on.
Sure. Thanks.
That's all right. That's why teamwork makes the dream work. So
that is so true because I need my team right now.
All right. So we're going to go into myvotacall.com. One sec. I just have to pull up my personal account. There we go. And so, again, there's a link for that in the portal. If you've never been to the portal, I won't say shame on you, but, I think you're missing out. I think if you can head over to the portal and you can take a look at a few things, I think that you'll really realize there's so much to the Votacall system. Most of our webinars so far have been focused on the My Votacall portal. It is the hub. It is the hub whether you're an admin. It's the hub if you're an agent. It's the hub if you're a supervisor. It's the hub if you're just a basic user. And there's just a lot you can get out of it. So what I will do is I will click share screen. Sorry, just give me one sec. Just going to have to choose my window wisely here. There we go. So if you log into in preparation for this the webinar, and again, as I told you, we realize that there's things that we should be adding. So if you've ever been in the portal, you would have noticed that this icon right here where it says Votacall support was never there before. And that's right here. And so one of the things we realized is why don't we have that in the portal? Let's put it in the portal and let's get people to support if they need support and make it easy for them. So if you click there, you'll see that it gets driven to our support page, and we show you the 3 different ways that Erik reviewed before about how you could get to us. So support@votacall.com. You could go to support.votacall.com, and these are links, by the way. This one will open up an email, and this one will take you to the web page. And then you've got the phone number. A lot of folks will hide phone numbers, or a lot of companies hide their phone number and they don't really want you to reach out to them. If you want to talk to somebody, pick up the phone, dial 888-247-5500, and we will be there. There's also some helpful links, again, training videos, on-demand webinars, just to maybe get you to something that you need, quicker, or maybe you just want to go see if a question can be answered there. So that is something that we just wanted to show you. Again, we wanted to make sure that we included my Votacall portal in here, and there we go. So I'm going to jump back into here. So typically at this part of the day, we talk about customer success stories. We pick a couple clients that are using the feature that we're discussing, or whether it's call center or reporting or the web phone or agents. And, but as we went through this, we realized, well, it's hard to talk about that, individually, because everybody who touches our support team, so there'd be, thousands of them. But what we did realize is that what we could do is gather some quotes about some of the things that people just send in to Erik. And so, Erik, why don't you just kind of walk us through the slide, maybe pick 1 or 2 here, or just give us a general overview as you put this together, what you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, we get, positive responses on tickets all the time. And I love when you look at this slide, you'll see a lot of different, names on here. Larry, you've been great. Awesome to work with. Long story short, Aramis is the man. Matt, you're the best. Scott, your expertise and dedication at resolving the problem is truly impressive. Like, just all those name drops of the different, people on our support team. I really love that because, I feel like over time, as people open, different requests and have different questions, they tend to really get to know some of the people, on our staff, especially, our longtime customers. And, one of the ones I really like is, the one that says, Matt, you're the best. It doesn't end there. It's then, please forward this along to your boss. I don't know what I'd do without you. It's easy to just say, oh, great job. But then to say, hey, I want to make sure other people know you're doing a great job. I really appreciate, that kind of, feedback from the customers.
Yeah, I mean, it really is fantastic. And it was great to see this. When we started to talk about this slide, I had no idea that you just sort of had a file with all of these things, handy. And so within a very short period of time, there was a very large document that had all these quotes on it. So I'm sure that, we'll I think it's a good idea. Maybe we pepper the website in these, especially when we get to our support page. Folks, one of the things that I hope you're taking away from this is that, we have fun here at Votacall. We all like working here. We are people supporting you guys on your phone system, and we're true believers that people buy from people. If you haven't filled in the poll, please fill in the poll. If you have any questions for us, please, reach out and either email support or, go through that. And then Thomas, we're going to reach out to you just with regards as soon as this is over, and we'll get a ticket open and just sort of go through that spam with you, just to understand what's happening. Once we understand what's happening, we can take a look at a few calls and see what we can do to minimize that for you. We have a lot of systems in place to do that. And again, from myself and Erik, thank you. I want to say thank you to you for doing this. This is something that Kyle and I do a lot. But it's not something that you do a lot. So I will say, though, that it's a testament to the kind of people we hire, that you can kind of come in here and be a personality and jump on camera and have this kind of conversation with us. So thank you for being here. You have anything you want to say
anytime.
before we? Yeah. Oh, I mean, okay. You're coming back next month. How about tomorrow?
I'll come back anytime. Just maybe don't have my disembodied head on the screen for so long next time. It's creeping me out.
I like it though. It like floats
I'll be happy
around.
to come back.
It's like Zoolander was what I remembered it was. It reminded me of Zoolander when what's his name, Mugatu or whatever he calls himself, is floating around. It's Will Ferrell. Anyway,
Is this
again,
an institute for tiny people?
A freak gasoline fight accident is the best line of that movie. But all right. So again, thank you guys for coming. We really appreciate it. If you have any questions, please reach out to the support team. Again, 24/7, 365, always here. Votacall's number one. Actually, somebody repeated back to us in here. It was Chris, I think. He wrote, Votacall, we're a customer experience brand that happens to sell cloud phone systems. That is written somewhere on our website. It is something that we say quite a bit. And I think it's just, it's really great to be able to talk about it and how it happens. And Kyle, I'm not sure if you're back unofficially. I did see that you lost your internet connection. We miss you. We're going to call you in a minute and make sure you're okay.
I think I'm here. Am I here?
All right. Yes, we can hear you.
All right.
All right. So one more gray hair in the beard, Kyle.
All
right.
Bit.
So thank you for coming, everybody. We really do appreciate it. And with that, we'll take off.
All right.
See you next
Thank
time.
you very much, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.